welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nikki. I'm a homeschool mom to an only child going in 4th grade. I wanted to discuss our kind of like final review of Apologia Science for the living land animals of the 6th day. This we did in our 3rd grade year, and I want to share my thoughts. So if that is something that interests you, keep watching. I was really excited about this. To start this, I purchased the experiment kit through Nature's Workshop, which was absolutely fabulous. They literally give you everything you need for all the experiments paired up with Apologia's science stuff. So if you're looking into doing this curriculum, I would highly recommend checking out Nature's Workshop. So this was what we started our 3rd grade year science with, and let me tell you, my child is an animal lover through and through, absolutely loves animals, and I thought she was going to just devour this, but it ended up not the case. So I want to first state that this is a good curriculum. I don't think Apologia is a bad curriculum to choose. It's just not working for our homeschool family. So this book is, I believe, the first version that they came out with. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone can correct me if that's the case. But I know they're coming out with a different edition, an updated edition on these units. I'm not sure if they have with the land animals yet, but I know they have with, I believe, the birds. So, and other like units, not just the zoology ones, but I just want to show you what it looks like on the inside of the textbook. So the main reason that this did not work is the over amount of actual text in the book. I don't think that this was supposed to be designed as like a reader, and I don't feel like there was enough pictures. I wish there were more pictures and less words, because it can definitely be a little wordy and very hard to follow. There's just so much in a single lesson, and I know the intent is to not read it all in one take, but in one day, but it really just depends on how you are handling your schedule, how long you want to take on, you know, the land animal unit. Will your child be okay with doing this the entire school year if you stretch it out, or will they not? Will they get bored of learning about animals and want to move on to a different set of something? So because she loved animals, I honestly thought she would just want to devour it, but because it was so wordy, and it really tells you so many things in here. I mean, like, we're still on lesson 8. I've been flipping for I don't know how long now. We're still there. So this is wrapping it up. It has like what do you remember sections, map it, track it, notebook activities. There is a notebook you can buy, a junior one and like a older kid one. And for me, it felt more busy work, and like it had scripture copy work in there. It had coloring pages. It had cut and paste things. I think the effort behind it was there, but I just wish it was a little bit different. So we didn't utilize that, and I didn't even keep it, so I don't have it here to show you in this video. But, and then at the end of the unit, there's some type of like review and or experiment. So this one didn't have an experiment, but it's just so long and it's so wordy. And you can purchase the audiobook, but for me, I found that the audiobook was not as interesting of a voice as I would have expected it to be. It was nice. I'm not saying it was the worst thing I've ever heard, but it wasn't as like automated that I would have pictured about reading about animals. So like the surprise and the oohs and the ahs weren't in the voice for me. And then the other thing that I did not like about the audio is that, and maybe it's just the player that I was only able to play it on was my phone. I wasn't able to find anything I could open it in the document. So there was no way for me to save it. So if I read and we just stopped somewhere on page 3 out of 16, and it wasn't like an obvious breaking point, or even if it was an obvious breaking point in the textbook, it wasn't necessarily, it doesn't save your place on the audio. So when I would go back, I would literally have to remember the minute that I left off on and write it down so that I could go back in the audio and scroll through to find the minute that it left off on. Not live or die, but like that's the little things for me, and that became a lot. So we ended up just losing our interest, and we did do a couple experiments. I think we did 2 or 3. I love the way the experiments are set up because it shows you like real pictures of what the experiment is to like look like. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, it's showing you pictures of what it looks like from somebody who actually was doing the experiment. So it gives you kind of a real, not just like print, so that if you don't understand it, you could actually visualize what it's supposed to look like. So I love that it kind of goes over the science, what is scientific method, I think it's called, where in the notebook they want you to guess what's going to happen on some of those and so forth. So it's very much, I think they're thought out, and I think they're creative, and I think they're for the most part pretty simple with like household items to have on hand, unless you're going to use the nature workshop. So it tells you everything you need, and then what to do. And what I also seem to enjoy is that it also has like relation to the experiment to real life. So I don't know about this one, but when we did the experiment for what was it called? Predator and Prey, it literally had a whole thing after the experiment to read up on more of what the results meant for the experiment. So I really enjoyed the experiment aspect of this, but I did not enjoy the textbook part of it with it was just too much. I think it could have easily been simplified, but it really just depends on your age range. Like my daughter was 8 when we did this, and maybe an older kid or someone would have a little bit more patience or desire to want to read the whole text. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, we stopped after maybe 4 or 5 lessons in the book, and we did not continue on. So my review is simply based on that and why it didn't work for us. I think it's a great company, great curriculum, but you also have to keep in mind that this is not secular. This is going to be a Christian curriculum. It is going to talk about like the 6th day of the world on earth, and so God's creations and stuff like that. So I don't know that that's something you could just omit from the textbook to try to make it secular. I think there's other options if you wanted to go about that. So I don't think we'll be continuing with Apologia's Zoology unit, but I'm very curious in the newer ones because a friend of mine did their newer updated version of Earth Science, and even though she had slightly some cons with it as well, overall it was not that wordy, and the text had way more pictures and just like more engagement. and a lot of experiments as well. And so I think in the future we can go back and maybe pick out some updated versions to really see if we would, you know, like that one. I'm not going to give up on the curriculum, so to say, or the company. So that's all I have to show you. Like I said, I don't have the junior notebook or what we used for that paired along with this, or the experiments. I actually donated it. So I hope this helps you if you're interested in Apologia Zoology 3, Land Animals of the Sixth Day. So if you are new and you haven't seen, I have already uploaded my curriculum for the upcoming school year on what we plan to do for science. So if that is something that interests you, you can try to click below in the description box, and I'll have a bunch of links to all those videos that went up a couple months ago. And that is it, my friends. Let me know in the comments, did you like the original versions, the first editions, whatever editions these are? Or did you like the new ones? Let me know. What's the pros and cons here? I'm very curious, and leave them in the comments for me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.